I mean, when we Ron Scott grabs a gear. Jeff Scott the second on course. Another Scott family Corvette. Holes are down into the infield. Hangs a hard right. Jinks it through the cone around the hairpin. Heading for Corn Dog Corner, remnants of Clearfield Mountain Speedway before it was UMI Motorsports Park. Jeff Scott the second hopping on the backstretch. Long backstretch is going to knock it into NASCAR turn 3 through the cones. Looking good so far. Jeff Scott the second misses a little shift, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. .56, 190 clean. Tony Garrett ran here at King of the Mountain last year for the first time and made it deep into the shootout. He must be a shootout machine because here he is again. Tony Garrett's going to drop the nose into the infield. That's a little tricky through there. That's why these drivers are the best in the country. Tony Garrett through the hairpin. Puts the power down behind the tech shed. It's going to hang a little left and a right at the chicken shack. Corn Dog Corner, we call that. On to the high-speed portion of the backstretch. Little bobble there for Tony, but he looks clean so far. 3-cone gate, pulls her down. Has enough RPM, doesn't need to shift on that one. .56, 699 clean. 5.6, 699 clean. Now the big dog, Bob Bertelson, A+ Powder Coater sponsor. Green Mamba, Aerial Jim with the drone chasing Bob Bertelson. Bob Bertelson also no stranger to the shootouts here at UMI Performance, UMI Motorsports Park. Presented by Viking Performance. What's better than a Corvette with side pipes? Not much. Bertelsen, nice clean shift. Let's see what he runs. $56805. It looks like Bertelsen will park it for the night. Ron Scott, Jeff Scott the second, and Tony Garrett will move on to the round of 3. Okay, in the super late division, after dark speed super late, Bob Armstrong, Ohio resident, makes a tow over here to UMI Motorsports Park quite often. Good friend of the company. Armstrong grabs a gear. Into the infield, nice and clean through the backstretch slalom. Drops the nose into the hairpin. Little splitter scrape in corn dog corner, no harm there. Down the big backstretch off the limiter just a tiny bit. Pounds it, shifts, good clean shift. Number 91, Armstrong in the super late. $55, $479, $55, $479 for Armstrong. Looks clean. David Myers, Pennsylvania resident, gets ready to drop the nose into the infield. Hangs a hard right. Through the hairpin, getting ready to put the power down behind. The tech shed hangs the back end a little bit. Hearing some chatter, we might have a cone down in turn 1 for Myers, so that'll add 2 seconds. Not good in the round of 4, but other guys can do it too, so that's why you have to give it your all on every lap. And he gave it his all right into the final cone. David Myers, 53,998 plus 2. 53,998 plus 2. Car 47, Ron McManus. I believe this could be the first time for Ron in a UMI shootout. Always pretty awesome to see first timer. He bounces it off the limiter. Might have to grab a gear later on. We'll see what Ron does. Little bit through corn dog corner, looks good there. Out onto the backstretch. Nice clean run from McManus. 54, 543 clean for McManus. 54, 543 clean. Next up, Jansen Fisher. Jansen Fisher with a nice clean shift. Jansen Fisher. Oh, I'm hearing Fisher got a cone. +1 cone for Jansen. '64, Gary Walsh on deck, taking the start from Ryan Kirkwood. He's going to hang a hard left on the NASCAR start finish. Gary Walsh, perennial frontrunner here at UMI Motorsports Park. We appreciate him and his lovely wife making the tow here multiple times per year. Always run strong here and also at King of the Mountain. Pretty good horsepower under the hood of the Walshmobile, struggling for traction through Corn Dog Corner. It's always nice when you can burn tires at 50 miles an hour, especially big ones like on a C5. Looks like Gary's going to have a +2. Has a cone at the finish and a cone spinneroonian down into the infield. On track now, our #1 qualifier and fastest car on the property, Cody Hunt. Cody Hunt runs a lot of national SCCA competition. Knows how to get it done in high pressure situations. Hunt with a lot of products from sponsor on turn 1 there, stranoparts.com. Cody Hunt, national quality competitor. Has enough RPM available, doesn't have to grab a gear on the finish. Hunt runs a 52025 clean. He's in a different zip code. We're going to change to the next class here. Rob Terrian, number 74, mid-model. Rob Terrian in mid-model. Okay, in super late, it looks like we're going to have number 76 moving on, Cody Hunt. 91, Bob Armstrong, and 47, Ron McManus. Hunt, Armstrong, McManus moving on to the round of 3. Rob Tarian in the 74 car, 55, 323 plus one. That exit cone there right before the finish is taking a beating. They're probably going 70, 80 mile an hour there when they go to turn down. So to change direction in one of these muscle cars, pretty difficult at that speed, but that's why they get paid the big bucks, I guess. That Ryan King car handles awesome on the straightaway. Five 296 clean for car 87, Ryan King. You hear that sequential rolling in Jason Smith's car, Smitty's Custom Auto. Little bobble there on the entrance to that little pivot cone there. He's going to drop the nose for the hairpin. You'll hear him grab a couple gears here as he heads for Corn Dog Corner. Jason, part of the Smitty's Custom Auto family. The family that races together stays together. Grabs a gear right at the end, nice and clean through the finish for Jason Smith. Nick Zalisco takes out a cone wall, which ain't good for moving on. Zalisco powers through the traps. Little trouble with the cone wall there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Shout out to super helper R. Scott Thomas. R. Scott Thomas on, he's not even listening. On deck, John Wanagoo. John Wanagoo, car 125. Can't drive a stick. Ryan says, get out of here. top 3 drivers here in this class were actually top 3 last year. We'll see if they can mix it up a little bit. Wanagoo, one of my favorites, has a pretty awesome driving style. You might see a little drift action, completely under control from Dr. John Wanagoo. Out onto the NASCAR backstretch. Tips her down, back up. John gets a nice clean shift going through the start finish. Wanagoo 56, 201 clean. Brian Harvey, last year's silver medalist in this class. Real precision driver. Nice guy, mild-mannered outside the car. Psycho behind the wheel. Hangs hard left in the hairpin, starts to put the power down. You'll see him go through corn dog corner nice and smooth. Harvey on the rev limiter going into NASCAR 3, starting through the slalom, up the hill, down the banking, tries to miss that last cone, does so. Nice clean shift for Harvey. Harvey with a 5.5, 267 clean, 5.5, 267, no cones. Now the big guns in this class, JJ Mulrich. We love us some JJ Mulrich. He is UMI equipped and title sponsor of Muscle on the Mountain, Viking equipped. Backstretch looks clean, drops the nose, hangs a hard right into the hairpin. Bounces a splitter off the hairpin, exit. Jinx her through corn dog corner, looking pretty good. Mulrich is also a CAM national champion in SCCA, and you can see why. Up the hill, down the hill, does he make it? He misses that cone. Nice shift for JJ through the start finish. .54, 568 clean for JJ Mulrich. That car, 580 rear wheel horsepower, handling to match, great driver, P1 in class. Okay, mid-model looks like moving on. Number 82, JJ Mulrich. 39, Brian Harvey. 87, Ryan King. Mulrich, Harvey, and King moving on to the next round. Mulrich, 54, 568, clean. Harvey, 55, 267, clean. Ryan King, 55, 296, clean. So we got 2 Camaros and a Power Stang in the round of 3 in mid model. Smitty's Custom Auto early model, Nathan Johnson, King of the Mountain finalist before. Can he win Muscle on the Mountain? Let's see. Big LS horsepower under the hood of that car. Handles awesome. Great driver. Seems to be a common theme among the shootout competitors. You don't get here without being good. How about it? Hangs the back end onto the backstretch, trying to put that big power down. Hits the rev limiter just a tiny bit. Let's see what happens when he goes up the hill and tries to pull that nose down. He gets her down. Nathan Johnson with 5.5, 101 clean. Sean Aldinger, car 137. 69 Camaro. Once again, triple combo, big power, great handling, great driver. He's going to jink the nose down, power up a little bit, drop the nose, hang a hard left into the infield at UMI Motorsports Park. Aldinger looking pretty clean there. Let's see what we got for Aldinger. Beautiful Nova, Mike Hogate in through middle of NASCAR 1 and 2. Getting ready to go through the technical section here before he drops the nose to head on into the infield. Talked to Mike a little bit today. Originally from California, spent 50 years in California. Now he moved to Central somewhere, not California. So got a whole new set of racing friends, and now he's here at UMI Motorsports Park. I noticed today watching Mike, nice and smooth. Very smooth driver. Puts the power down on the backstretch. Has to woe her down. through the technical section, up the hill, down the hill, nice and clean. Shift is clean. Through the traps, Mike Hogate. Hogate 5.5, 155 clean, 5.5, 155 clean. Car number 112, Adam Schoonmaker. North Carolina resident. Him and his dad race with us. Woo, little tail happy there. No problem though, gathers it back up. Schoonmaker, another one of the guys that's been deep into the shootout rounds at King of the Mountain. Schoonmaker pulls that nose down, clears the final cone. Mike Casino, jackpot Mike Casino, driving the Andrews YOLO Monte Carlo. UMI equipped, had some Smitty work done on it, Smitty's custom auto as well. Big horsepower. Mike Casino, national quality North Carolina driver. Clean through Corn Dog Corner. Hangs the back end ever so slightly out onto the backstretch. Grabs a gear. Drops the nose. That sequential downshift, nice and smooth. We'll hear him rip one here if he can get the nose down. There we go. Not sure if that was rev limiter or piston swapping holes or what was going on. Casino jackpot 53893 clean. Love seeing UMI equipped cars going that fast here at UMI Motorsports Park. On deck now, Corey Williams, number 9. Spent a lot of time on the top of the leaderboard this weekend. I think he finally ended up qualifying P2. Got some nice big aero on the car. The rules for UMI's Muscle on the Mountain presented by Viking Performance. 3,250 pounds, 200 tread wear, bring a helmet. Williams nice and clean through the middle. Up onto the backstretch. Grabs a downshift through the technical section. clears that final cone. Williams, 54, 150 clean. Smitty off the line. Again, the Smitty's Custom Auto early model class. You'll hear him grabbing gears left and right. Big power, good handling on the Angry Smurf. Smitty, multiple championships all across the country. Front runner in multiple divisions. That's why he's in the shootout here at UMI Motorsports Park. There he rips a gear. He's going to click one down through the technical section in NASCAR 3. Try to pull the nose down. He does, nice and clean. Smitty shuts her down. Pretty cool here. We had all the cars clean in the early division. Moving on in the early class, we're going to have Jackpot Mike Casino with a 53,893. 53,893. P2 Sean Aldinger, 54,055. And P3 number 9 Corey Williams, 54,150. Once again, all clean in the early division. Nice clean driving. We have Williams, Casino, and Aldinger. PSI conversion truck class, Dane Howell qualified P4. We're going to go 4-3-2-1 here in the truck class. Dane Howell, number 40. Not your average Chevy Love, Dane Howell, ripping down the backstretch through the technical section. Hangs the back end ever so slightly. You don't want to get a tail whipping, that's for sure. Might have a toolbox in the back. Dane Howell. Dane Howell, 5'6", 548 clean, 5'6", 548 clean. Blake Woolham up next. Car, truck number 43. Kirkwood sends him off. Blake Woolham getting ready to hit Corn Dog Corner. Clean and clean through the chicane. Out onto the backstretch. Blake Woolham hanging the back end, bouncing off the rev limiter. Pulls the nose down on the number 43. 56, 576 clean for Blake Woolham. 56, 548 for Howell. Number 92, Steve Ike. Steve Ike, Honda engineer, NVH division at Honda of America. Drives pro for Honda of America racing team, Hart team. You can see him on Daytona, other big tracks like that. When he's not doing that, he's here at UMI Motorsports Park and other autocrosses all over the country. We love having Steve Ike here because he's UMI equipped and Viking equipped. What's better than the UMI Viking combo? Not much. Ike's going to climb the hill. Clean. Let's check the shift. No shift needed. What do we got? $56090 clean for Steve Ike. 3 cleans in a row for the truck class. Let's see what Zach Sawyer can do. Zach Sawyer, another S10 with UMI parts on it. We love to see our parts out here going fast. How do you know parts are good? Well, you run them 100 mile an hour on high banks. How's that? Sawyer, all the way from the state of Maine, makes the 12-hour trip or however long it takes him. Who knows with him driving? Might be 10 hours. Sawyer clean through the technical section. Doesn't need to grab a gear through the finish.
No 56. What 50? Yes, that's correct. I have getting a late class as car number 56 on the line. 56.
Moving on in truck class, PSI conversion truck class. Pole sitter, Zach Sawyer, Steve Ike, and then Dane Howell. I don't know if this is his first or second trip to UMI Motorsports Park, but Jordan Motuck, number 66, puts her in this Forgeline shootout. That's pretty cool. Jordan Motuck getting a taste of the big track here at UMI Motorsports Park. Motuck up the hill, pulls her down, clears the final cone. Shift is clean for Motuck. Hearing Motuck had a cone 56.044 plus 1. 56.044 plus 1. Car 56, John Duncan. John Duncan through NASCAR 1 and 2, past the billboards. Hauls are down the backstretch through the technical section, drops the nose. Clean so far, looks pretty good. Hangs a hard right into the infield. Clears that one barrier, hard left through the hairpin. Clean through corn dog corner, hard left, right, left is pretty tough in these big cars. These Camaros are pretty heavy, but Duncan seems to have it under control. Ripping gears like a madman. Let's see if he can pull the nose down. Barely. Awesome job, John. 56 through the traps. $56,886 clean, hearing from Cammy in the timing trailer. Great job to the timing team once again, giving us a great weekend. 56,886 for John Duncan. Okay, Mikey Albacetti spent a lot of time at the top of the leaderboard this week. I think he ended up P2 in qualifying. P2 in qualifying for Albacetti. I think he has his turn signal on. That's going to be a lot of extra hand work. I don't mean to tell him how to drive, but he does have his turn signal on. I hope he notices. Nice and clean through corn dog corner. Albacetti looking good so far. I mean, he is turning left a lot, so it might be okay with the turn signal. Oh, that bobble's going to cost him milliseconds. Let's see how he looks here at the finish. Mikey with a 55,903 clean. That's pretty awesome. JD McPherson out. Talked to JD at lunch. Heard it was McPherson, so now I can say it right. A little wide there from McPherson, but I think he's going to be okay. Through the hairpin. Drops the nose into corn dog. Hard left, hard right. Up around the, I don't know what we call that corner. Up around the corner. Onto the backstretch. Has a little bobble there. We'll see how his time looks. Has enough RPM, he doesn't have to grab the gear on the finish. $56,580 clean, $56,580 clean. Looks like for late model, we're going to have J.D. McPherson, Mikey Albacetti, and John Duncan. Order of operations there are going to be Mikey Albacetti, P1, McPherson, P2, Duncan, P3, Jordan Motok will be out. In addition to the UMI marketing team, you're going to see ace photographer down there, Leighton Mullins, talking to grid guy Noah. Hi, guys. You see awesome photos that say Late 5 Media. That's Leighton. His friend Molly's here, too. I think her photos are better. Okay, it's crunch time now. They were down to the round of 3. 3's going to go to 2, and then 2's going to decide your champion. Round of 3, so we have Ron Scott pulling out in the car number 63. We usually see him in the beautiful white split window. Tonight he's driving his wife's beautiful turquoise. The Scott family always has awesome Corvettes and G-bodies and whatever else they build. Ron Scott, pert near into every shootout, really came into his own as a driver in the last 5 years. Ron Scott, 54969 clean. 54969 clean. Jeffrey Scott the second. Cut his teeth in the G-body. Ran a G-body for a couple of years. Learned to drive in that. Now he's driving a side pipe vet. Scott family, big supporters of UMI Motorsports Park, and we love them for it. Jeffrey Scott onto the backstretch. Runs looking nice and clean. He's going to drop the nose into turn 3 up in the technical section. Now he's going to pull that nose down, try to miss that last cone. Grabs a gear clean, 110. $54, $450 clean, $54, $450 clean. Tony Garrett, I don't know if he's has a little DNF trouble. $141 with the DNF, Tony Garrett. That's going to put uncle and nephew against each other. Jeff Scott the second and Ron Scott. How awesome is that? Family affair and super early. Yeah, confirmed from the timing trailer. 63 and 110 moving on and super early. Jeff Scott the second, and Ron Scott. Bob Armstrong, 91 on the line. Dumps that clutch, hangs a hard left out onto the front stretch. Ariel Jim PA following him. UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance. Bob Armstrong through the hairpin. Going to try to navigate Corn Dog Corner. A little splitter drag action, no trouble though. Tiny bit of splitter bouncing is some good aero, not wasting any air. Hits the rev limiter a little bit. Drops the nose up the hill. See if he can pull it down. Pulls her down. Grabs the gear through the traps. Armstrong, 54, 439, 54, 439. Up now, Ron McManus. Beating that rev limiter senseless in turn one. McManus looking good so far. Navigates the hairpin. Behind the tech shed on the short straightaway. Corn Dog Corner sets him up for the uphill left-hander. Hangs the back end just a tick. Clean and green through there. McManus grabs the gear nice and clean through the finish. Cody Hunt. FTD, we call that in autocross, is fastest time of the day. Currently FTD and FT everything here at UMI Motorsports Park this weekend. Cody Hunt with some fresh AJ Hartman aero. I think he got some fresh Strano Penske's as well. National quality driver right here, Cody Hunt. There we go. Master of precision. Cody Hunt, 52.244 clean. 52.244 clean. Looks like we're going to have Cody Hunt and number 47, Ron McManus, in the final. Cody Hunt and Ron McManus. Timing confirms. Cody Hunt, Ron McManus. Cody Hunt and Ron McManus. We'll see you in the finals. Race director Roger Irvine has a little twist for you, so stay tuned. Mid-Muscle, sponsored by Elkhart Performance Engine and Chassis. EPAC, EPEC, Elkhart Performance Engine and Chassis mid-model. Number 87, Ryan King, on the line. Ryan King on track in the, I believe he called it Rust-Oleum colored Mustang. Ryan King drives this car from New Jersey, races it all weekend, and drives it home. Slides the nose just a little bit through the hairpin, gets it clean through Corn Dog Corner. The car handles down the straightaway, that's for sure. And I'm going to call that a minor error. Although you have to try, right? Ryan King with the DNF, or at least a really slow time. Harvey and Mulrich will get a mulligan on this one. We're hearing timing's okay, so we're going to send Brian Harvey. How about a shout out to everyone on the hill and in the stands? We appreciate you coming to UMI Motorsports Park to watch autocross. UMI Family Reclaim. What did we do? We tuned up this defunct speedway, and now it's a beautiful facility doing some autocross. Not traditional, but it's pretty awesome. 3 sellouts this year. car 82 and car 39 are moving on. JJ Mulrich and Brian Harvey, repeat of last year's 1-2. Repeat of last year's 1-2. Pretty fun having two UMI equipped fourth gens in the finals. .137, Aldinger on the line. Gets a starter signal from Ryan Kirkwood. In all the excitement, forgot to tell everyone, these top three competitors, no matter where they finish, are all going home with a big check, both real and giant. So they get the giant checks and also a paper check from UMI and from all the great sponsors. P1 pays $1,500 per class, $750 per class, and then $250 per class. Jackpot Mike Casino. I'm not allowed to root for people, but I'm going to root for Casino because that car is 100% UMI equipped. Casino, another national quality driver, spends a lot of time at the front of the pack no matter where he is. You hear him downshift that sequential. He's going to go through the technical section. Not sure what was going on there, but we'll see what Jackpot does here. Casino, 54 even, 0 cones. We'll see what Corey Williams does. Big arrow, big power for Corey Williams. Former Good Guys national champion, always runs strong here at UMI Motorsports Park. Dances the car through the slalom on the backstretch. And scrubs off a ton of speed. Has to beat 57,800. 57,800 from Aldinger. Mike Jackpot Casino on the pole, car number 93, owned by our buddy Andrew Ziolo. P2, even though he had that bauble in the hairpin. Corey Williams, 55, 166. 55, 166. Dane Howell, number 40 on the line in the truck class. PSI conversion truck class here at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance. Chevy love. LUV means light utility vehicle. In the case of Dane Howell, he's hauling something, but it isn't firewood. Into the infield, hangs a hard right past the pivot cone into the hairpin. Clean so far, grabs a down gear. Jinks it through corn dog corner, dances it. Onto the backstretch. Heads for the technical section up the hill. $56,852 clean, $56,852 clean for Dane Howell. Steve Ike on deck, truck number 92. We love Steve because he's UMI equipped. And he's an all-around great guy. Viking equipped as well, which is extra special because UMI's Muscle on the Mountain is presented this year by Viking Performance. Steve Ike runs the patented Viking Crusaders on the beautiful maroon burgundy S10. We talked before about Ike being a pro driver for Honda of America. Might see him on TV sometimes, but in this case you see him at UMI Motorsports Park. Hauls at Cornermax equipped, UMI Cornermax, Viking Performance. Gets through the technical section easily, through the start finish. Ike, what do we got? Ike, 5.5, 4.25 clean, 5.5, 4.25 clean. Zach Sawyer. Ike from Ohio, Sawyer from Maine. Both want that $1,500 to get gas for the way home. Sawyer drops her down to gear, hangs a hard left, hangs a hard right. Around the hairpin. A little bit of tire squealing, no harm, no foul there for Sawyer. Gets up on the NASCAR backstretch. Nice and clean, grabs a gear, drops the nose. Up the hill. Now the hard part, get her turned down before that last cone. Nice and clean there. Zach Sawyer. Sawyer put 6/10 on Steve Ike. Looks like we're going to have number 20 Sawyer, 92 Ike moving to the finals. John Duncan, car 56 on the line. John Duncan. Signal from Ryan to go. He's going to hang a hard left onto the front stretch. John Duncan into the infield, hangs a hard right through the little technical glitch there, through the hairpin, puts a power down behind the tech shed. Clean through corn dog corner. Up the hill, around the bend, out onto the backstretch. Grabs a gear, quick downshift. Back up the hill. Pulls her down. One more upshift. Duncan, what do we got? Here in Duncan got a cone, 5.5, 142 plus 1. 5.5, 142 plus 1. Mikey in car 113, Mikey Albacetti, New Jersey resident. Comes to quite a few of the UMI events. Always like to see Mikey in the pits. Great guy to be around. Then he gets behind the wheel and look out. Albacetti pulls that nose down through the traps. $55, $953 clean for Mikey. $55, $953. Pulling out, J.D. McPherson. McPherson in third gear already before turn one. Through the slalom into the infield. Hangs a hard right. Puts the power down nice and clean. Clean through corn dog corner. Up around, out onto the backstretch.
Out. So 56 and 113.
Moving on is going to be car 113, 113, and 56, 56. Can you announce that, Randy?
Awesome here. Moving on, Mikey Albacetti, P1. In the proof to not quit until you're finished. John Duncan runs a 55, 142 with a plus 1. McPherson, 55, 234 with a plus 1. That's going to put Albacetti and John Duncan, number 56, in the finals. So here's the twist. Race director Roger Irvine going down to console. We're going to take a 5-minute break. The guys were all doing one lap now. The grand finale here is going to be 2 laps. So they're going to run through the finish. They're going to have to woe it down, and then they're going to go again. So they're going to have some tire management. They're going to have some speed, more speed than before, because you got to drop the nose into turn 1 and navigate the course again without taking that first wall of cones. So we're going to try this, see how it works. We got the best drivers in the country here. Best muscle car drivers, awesome cars, awesome competition here at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance. Almost done with the 5-minute break here at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain. Timing team and the team down in the infield are going through a couple things. We're getting ready to run a double lap. Haven't done this before, so it's going to be pretty cool with them powering through the start finish and having to navigate turn one, almost like an oval track lap here. A little bit different than your average parking lot autocross. We appreciate all the people in the stands and on the hill. Reminder, we have the chow hall behind me here in the front stretch area by the pit gate or by the front gate. You can get food here from until they sell out. A lot of people down there looking pretty good at the chow hall. We couldn't do this without our awesome sponsors. Hey, attention in the paddock. Looks like we're getting ready to roll. This is the finals. Could be pretty interesting. This is the first time we've ever done the double lap action. Okay, Ron Scott getting ready to pull up to the line. Let's see how this double lap situation works out. Race director Roger Irvine giving him the wave. He's going to come out. We'll see how this second lap's going to look. Should be pretty awesome. Ron Scott, lap one, hauls are down in, clears that. Let's see what, yeah, he clears it. Okay, Ron knows what he's doing. Pretty deluxe from Ron Scott. Okay, lap 2 for Ron Scott. How we looking? Ron Scott, 107.903 clean, 107.903 clean. Let's see how the ride home's going to be. Jeffrey Scott the second, getting ready to hang a hard left out onto the front stretch. Is he going to be in trouble from Uncle Ron or not? He's probably going to have to pay for gas if he wins the big check. Jeffrey Scott the second, first time through the hairpin. These drivers are going to be dealing with a little bit warmer tires than they're used to, plus dropping that nose into NASCAR turn 1. Jeffrey Scott with the clean shift. Lap 2, Jeffrey Scott, 55.377 for the first lap. About 8/10 slower than Uncle Ron. Nice and clean through the traps for Jeffrey Scott. Okay, Ron Scott is 99% your winner. He's going to head over to the scales, make sure he meets the weight minimum. Ron Scott heading to the scales right now. We'll know here in about 2 or 3 minutes if he's the champion. Great run by Jeffrey Scott, nice and clean, just a tick slower. Scott family going home with $1,500 and $750, so not bad for a day's work. Looks like Jeffrey's going to weigh 2 just in case Ron doesn't make it. Minimum weight here in UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance, 3250. Coming up to the line, Ron McManus. Ron McManus getting ready to run for the $750 or the $1,500. Gets the hard park signal from Ryan Kirkwood, getting ready to launch here in a minute. Hearing from race director Roger Irvine at car 63, Ron Scott has cleared tech. Ron Scott, your champion in super early, A+ powder coater super early. Congrats, Ronnie, great job. Jeffrey Scott the second, P2. Not sure if he's heading to the scales or not, but awesome drive, Jeffrey. McManus rolls her into the infield. Through corn dog corner. I don't see any cones flying. That's a good move there, McManus. Up onto the backstretch. Through the NASCAR start and finish. McManus grabs the last cone in the cone wall. Five, 4, 3, 2, 2 plus 1 for McManus on lap 1. So Cody Hunt's going to have to go fast enough, but not too slow. Might be an easy win, but nothing's easy in racing. We're still going to see if, knowing Cody, he's going to still run strong and give it all he's got. McManus through the finish. Nice clean gear change. McManus with a 106.488 plus 1 cone. Cody Hunt on deck gets the nod from Ryan Kirkwood. Cody's going to hang a hard left onto the front stretch. I think Cody Hunt's going to put on a show down here in turn 1 when he gets back. Cody Hunt through corn dog corner. Grant Opensky's keeping it planted. Cody's going to pull that nose down, clears the cone, does not grab a gear, hangs a hard left, and he's clean through there for the problem area. 51, 394 clean for Cody Hunt. Cody Hunt navigates corn dog corner like a champion out onto the backstretch, grabbing gears. Hauling her down for the elements. Clean on the kink up the hill. Going to pull that nose down through the traps. Nice and smooth. Shut down looks good. .928 on lap 2. Grand total for Cody Hunt. Cody Hunt, McManus, P2. Cody Hunt, 102.322. Puts on a clinic, 102.322. He's going to head to the scales. Brian Harvey pulling up to the line. Getting all lined up. Brian Kirkwood getting ready to launch. Hearing from race control, Cody Hunt passes tech, so he is your super late model champion. After Dark Speed super late model champion for Cody Hunt. Puts on a clinic with a 1:02.322 combined time. Great job, Cody Hunt, and also McManus, P1, P2 in super late model. Brian Harvey grabs a downshift for the slow section, hanging a hard left into the infield. Clean through Corn Dog Corner. Taps the rev limiter just a touch before the final cone there. Clean upshift. Not a clean corner entry. Harvey's going to have at least a +1. Harvey taps that rev limiter once again. Gearing seems just about right for the Irvine course. Takes it through the finish nice and clean on the shift. As we've learned, all is not lost. Harvey, 108.303 +1, 108.303 +1. Ulrich getting ready to launch. Kirkwood gives him a thumbs up. UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by our good friends at Viking Performance. Ulrich with the purple trim on his car. 100% Viking equipped for Ulrich. Has the patented Viking Crusaders under that car, and as you can see, it handles pretty awesome. Ulrich has that triple combo, great handling, big power, and a great driver. Pretty excited to see Ulrich haul her down into turn 1. 580 rear wheel horsepower will give you some pretty big speed there at the end of the front stretch. Slows her down, makes the corner. See how he does in the up, down, up, down. $55.844 on the first lap. Ulrich just needs to keep it moderately fast and clean to beat Harvey at 108.303 +1. Nothing like some big V8 horsepowers from J.J. Mulrich. Nice and clean through the finish. Has a nice clean shift as well. Wow, that was still close. Harvey with the 108.303 makes it a 110. JJ just barely pulls it out with a 109.949 clean. He's going to go across the Roger Irvine race director scales, get checked out to make sure he weighs 3250. JJ Mulrich clears the scales, good to go, so he is your champion. 2 years in a row, taking a good amount of fuel money home, $1,500 for JJ Mulrich. Sequential in the casino car right now. Upshift, downshift, up the hill. Shifts are clean, downshifts to make the corner. Blasts that cone on the cone wall. Not good. Casino 5089 54089 plus 1. Casino 107.185 plus 1. 107.185 plus 1. Corey Williams, car number 9. Casino is going to go to the scales and wait for Corey Williams. Tiny bit of splitter bumpage there from Williams, but no harm, no foul there. Clean through Corn Dog Corner. Williams navigates turn one, no problem. Pulls her down for the middle of the corner. Still looking good. Okay, we had a little trouble with the timer with Corey Williams. Timing team and the infield team has it tuned up, though. We're looking good now. Going to send Corey Williams back out. Sounds like Corey Williams fired it up. Getting ready to signal from Ryan Kirkwood. We'll try this again, see how the timer system works. Corey Williams clean so far through Corndog Corner. No trouble yet as he pulls out onto the backstretch. Williams 53, 624, 53, 624. Navigates her through Corndog Corner. Looking good there. Hangs a hard left out onto the backstretch. Car number 9, Corey Williams, 106.072 clean. .06072 clean. He has to proceed up to the scales, check his minimum weight. Hoping for 3250.001 for Corey Williams. Gets a high five. I don't know if he's out of gas or what. Steve Ike pulls up to the line. Steve Ike. We're here at the Forgeline shootout at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance. Forgeline, custom alloy racing wheels. A number of these vehicles have these awesome Forgelines, best wheels in the business. Forgeline, a long-time supporter of UMI Performance, UMI Motorsports Park. We appreciate them a ton. Also for sponsoring tonight's shootout, the Forgeline shootout at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by our friends at Viking Performance. We got friends everywhere. We got wheels, we got shocks, we got all kinds of stuff. Corey Williams passes tech. P1 for Williams, P2 for Mike Jackpot Casino. Steve Ike gets her through Corn Dog Corner nice and clean. Has those patented Viking Crusader shocks on it. Starts up the hill, he's going to pull it down. Power it through the NASCAR start finish. Hearing from the timing trailer, 55093 clean, 55093 clean. Through the hairpin, let's see if those Vikings can get him through Corn Dog Corner, which they do. Down the backstretch, heading into the technical section, woes her down, pulls her down up the hill. Hits the rev limiter right before the start finish. Ike finishes with a 107.996 at second lap, 52.903, 3 seconds faster than the first one. Pretty awesome. Put the pressure on Zach Sawyer. Zach Sawyer into the infield. Little twilight action, headlights on. Sawyer 55, 487 clean, 4/10 slower than Ike's first lap. Clean, however, Ike was clean as well, so we're going to see how Sawyer does on this second lap to crown a champion. Clean so far out onto the backstretch for Sawyer. Up the hill, pulls it down. No shift on this one. '92, Steve Ike is the provisional winner. We're going to check the scales with Ike. Hearing from headquarters that Steve Ike clears the scales, that makes him your winner. Show sportsmanship there on the front stretch. Ike and Sawyer high-fiving, putting on a show for the fans. Pretty awesome. Little S10 trucks faster than you think. I'm not allowed to say this, but great job, Steve-O. UMI Performance and Viking Performance in the winner's circle. '56, John Duncan ready to roll in the final class of the evening, late class. I think Mrs. John's here in the grandstand watching. There you go, Mrs. John. She has a real name, it's Tammy, so Tammy's cheering on her husband, Tammy Duncan. Here we go. Nice to have John and Tammy racing with us here this weekend. Duncan, nice and precise on the backstretch, pulls her in. Clean through Corn Dog. Clean out onto the backstretch so far. Tiny bit of wet rev limiter action there for Duncan. Up the hill, going to pull it down, make sure he misses that final cone. Clean through there. Grabs a gear. Maybe not clean through the cone wall, but we found that that might not be the end. $55, 959 plus one, 55, 959 plus one for Duncan. Still puts the pressure on the next competitor, though. Still has to run hard and not hit anything. Duncan ends up with a 110.008 plus 2, 110.008 plus 2. 113, Albicetti on the line. Mikey Albicetti clears that first cone, no problem. Through 1 and 2, past the billboards. Albicetti clean through Corn Dog Corner. Talking about the billboards, Smitty's Custom Auto, Quartermaster Clutches, Snappies, Pick Performance, A-plus Powder Coaters, Summit Racing, PSI Conversion, Quick Performance, Viking Performance, ProTouring.com. We'll talk about the others on the next lap. Albicetti clean through the finish. $58, $392 clean for Albicetti. Buller Transmissions, Turn 1 Steering, Ron Francis Wiring, Forgeline Wheels, Hawks Motorsports, Turn 14 Distribution, Strano Parts, and Hawk Performance on the billboards here at UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance. We're getting ready to finish the Forgeline shootout. The best wheels in the business, Forgeline, on many of these cars in the infield. Albacetti's still looking clean. '56, Duncan looks like he pulls off the win. 2 cones, but Albacetti did not have the speed. Big Camaro is probably going to make weight unless it's full carbon fiber. Let's see what Tammy says. She's shaking her arm. She thinks that John's going to make weight. She's also pumped he's getting $1,500. Not sure what she's going to buy, but probably fuel, tires. Oh, she's buying autocross. Perfect. '56 is clean. Tammy Duncan claps. All is well in the Duncan household. Congrats. Okay, everyone on the hill and in the stands, thanks for coming to UMI's Muscle on the Mountain, presented by Viking Performance and watching the Forgeline shootout. Nice to have an autocross audience. Thanks for those watching online. I see a bunch of friends online. Gary Hatfield, Jinx Jordan, Rusty English, Jeff Gordon, Dave McGee, Urbanski, AJ Sacrapani down low. Hey, AJ, thank you. Hey, thanks for a great weekend, everyone, and we'll catch you in about 4.5 weeks at Autocross Challenge presented by After Dark Speed. We got a full house there, 150 plus cars for UMI Autocross Challenge. Good night and God bless.